No, but we talked about this before too. Remember, I was saying how I wanted to take like the rabbis and take them through just give them a sample of the type of thing that we experience in life,
Yeah.
right? Like the things that we tried to do, the places we went, clubbing, Darren Emerson, freaking Bigweed, Victor Calderon, right? Then you take them to some, like diner at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
Have
them have some calamari with cheese fries.
Right. Then you show them and the primary thing that I would want them to understand is our experience with the type of women that we grew up with, grew up around, and see all the time. What are we? And then once they understand what, where we come from, like the environment that we emerged from, they would not try to make the shidduchim that they are trying to make.
Dude, I've said whatever you just said right now. I've said this to many of my friends. Literally the exact sentences, or at least the part about the women. Like I said to my friend, I'm like, dude, if the reason I get, it's not that I get upset at these people. I just kind of like, it really annoys me because it's almost like you said, remember how you were talking about people who were, we were talking about the people who like had to drop any inconvenience and it's like a downfall for them. It's like a depressing thing. That's kind of like for me with becoming frum in the sense of the, I don't know, the caliber of women that I meet. It's a real freaking, again, no offense to anybody listening, it's a real freaking downgrade.
You see, the thing is like,
I went from like Mercedes to Pintos. Like speaking of Pintos, the back of my car is exploding, going on fire.
Let me do a Norm Macdonald. Somebody says, well, why can't you find a nice, shidduch girl? You see, the thing is, the where I come from, right? The type of girls that you're around, it's all about exuding sexual excitement, attract, and that's what you're looking for, and that that's, and that's basically what the girls are like, especially when they get confident or they like a guy, and then so that's what's being expressed, which is the exact opposite of the way Orthodox Jewish girls are taught to be. To show as little of that as possible,
like as little interest as possible. For what reason?
Right, as little excitement. Like if any of them have that kind of impulse, like that Lamborghini saleswoman, right? They might want to be up to no good, but they definitely don't show it, and they're definitely not comfortable.
They immediately shut it down. They only show it to their friends. They're told
they really don't show it to anybody for the most part. Okay?
For like one friend that they go home and like, oh my God, this guy, in a good way. They're like,
yeah. So
you'll never hear from her directly.
Right. So basically, when it comes to like the shit of dating, right, for a guy who's coming from the outside, from the didn't grow up Orthodox, right? So if he had any level of fun and success in his life, especially like socially, with women, right?
Yeah.
So it's such a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's a everything shock.
Yeah. It is.
Okay. And the guy is expected to completely, like, the guy is a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's what it's like. You have to like smush yourself to accommodate. Like you must make yourself uncomfortable to make the other person.
Dude, that's what I found. I had to make myself small.
Hang on. It was completely unconscious of your discomfort.
Yeah.
To start with.
Yeah.
Like it would be different if like, the person understood like the difficulty, you know what I mean? And how, and you have to literally like.
Dude, can I tell you something? Can I tell you a story based on what you're saying? I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
Right after my engagement broke off, for the final time, for the final nail in the coffin, what I call moment, I met this girl at a shiur, actually at an event, but whatever, we started talking about this rabbi that we both like, whatever it is, and she's also about tshuva, and she eventually got married. This is years later, but like when we met, it was very much like we kind of hit it off. And this is like 2 weeks after the final time I broke up with my ex, and we went on 3 dates. We had an amazing time, but obviously I was, for me, it's one of those things where like, obviously it was a Shomer Negia situation, so nobody touched anybody. But there was always that, she's about tshuva, she's my age, and she was always like, there was always that hint that like she was waiting for me to do something physically, and after the third date, or during the third date, she basically blurted out to me, she's like, I feel like we are, at the end, I think it was, I wanted to hang out with her again. She's like, I feel like there's like, she's like, I feel like there's like a friends vibe, aka she put me in the friend zone.
Yeah.
And automatically I went, in my head, I was like, man, this Shomer Negia thing has just taken my balls and
No, because
caught them off.
because you were paired with a girl, right, who's not Shomer Negia and doesn't.
No, I
care
wasn't paired with her. We just hit it off at some event.
whatever it is. Whatever, you were put in a situation with her, a girl who's not. Who's
No, from what I understood, she was
Shomer
Shomer Negia. I knew she was. I was told she was.
Of course, you're going to be told, but based on her reaction, obviously, it's not something that she was trying to do or value.
You want to know something funny? And I think we must have tried to date, quote unquote date, on a few occasions after that, for like literally, it was like a song and dance for like 3 or 4 years.
For the folks at home,
Yeah.
Shomer Negia, the word Shomer means to guard. Negia means touch.
Yeah.
Meaning you don't touch anybody before you're married.
Yeah.
That's continue. Sorry.
So a mutual friend of ours, this girl, she at one point just blurted out to me something like, who's also a Baal Tshuva and who's also like believes in the whole Shomer Negia thing, but she blurted out to me something like, just make a move. Next time you see her, just like make a move. And what? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought I heard a noise. And then I said to her, I'm like, if I do, she's probably gonna slap me. And I don't know, it's just this whole like weird thing.
Dude, what you see, there's some things that it takes a while for somebody who's new to the Orthodox community to realize, to come to terms with.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a friend of mine many years ago who kind of coined this phrase for me. He goes, yeah, but between you and me, no.
Exactly.
There's a lot of between you and me that you can't imagine. That they won't say it.
It's called tricks. It's called tricks of the trade.
Basically, just to kind of make sure that I'm clear, what I'm saying is, like, you talk about a person, right? And let's say you're talking about keeping Shabbos, okay?
Yeah.
And you're talking about like a person, like, do you think they would turn the lights on and off on Shabbos if it was like, if it got convenient, right?
Yeah.
So conversation. This is actually a conversation I had. So the person replied, yeah, but between you and me, no. Meaning, like, they would, if it got very inconvenient or whatever, they get like flustered, they'll turn the lights on and off just out of frustration.
Yeah.
The point is, they're not Shomer Shabbos.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. That's when you cut through all the shit. That's what it means. Not Shomer Shabbos.
Dude, so am I just
who doesn't observe the Sabbath?
So am I just a naive tzaddik who just actually does what he claims that he, or at least did at one point?
You're definitely naive.
I'm a sucker.
I'm not gonna say you're a tzaddik.
I'm a sucker. I'm a friar. I got sucked into this.
Yeah. When you have like a person who is new to it and very enthusiastic about it because they realize the Torah is real, right? And then you're faced. You don't understand that the people that you are going to in the Orthodox community are human beings, right? Just because they look a certain way doesn't mean they understand what you understand.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It
Yeah.
took me almost 20, no, I wouldn't say 20 years. I mean, I am, again, my IQ score wasn't that high, but it wasn't, it wasn't that low either. Right? So I think it took me a solid 10 years to actually come to grips with the idea. Like, hold on a second. Is that girl not actually religious?
Yeah.
And then you have, and then
In the words of Rabbi Mizrahi, fake religious, fake religious.
essentially fake or pressured, socially pressured to appear a certain way. That's a more accurate. So it took a long time to realize that that's what we're going to be encountering.
Yeah.
And
Listen, with all that said, I at some point came to my senses on what I was mentioning to you in terms of the Shomer Negia thing, and I started once again looking in the what we call the Masorti sector of society, traditional spiritual women, not even necessarily Shomer Shabbos yet, or Shomer Kashrut yet.
Let's cut through the shit for a second, okay? I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but Masorti essentially just means a person who is like, they're not really, their level of observance. The word Masorti does not really describe level of observance.
Yeah.
It describes more of a mindset.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah.
I believe in God. I respect the tradition, and that kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. So
yeah, and I listen. I find that there's more of a pool from that group of people.
It's a much larger pool.
Much larger pool, but also like women who I'm attracted to exist in that pool. Not only that, by the way, I'm finding that there's a lot of wokeitude in the Frum community, both FFB, or especially modern Orthodox, and also Baal Tshuva. And I'm finding that the women who have, who hold by where you and I hold by, at least politically and ideologically, tend to be in the Masorti community.